Good morning, welcome to episode 21 of Cooking with Chef Daniel. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Very good.
I like your jumper.
Thank you very much. Very Christmassy.
And talking about Christmassy,
I know,
it's just Clementine dates. I mean, perfect. So we're going to do a recipe from my book, which is normally made with orange, which is also a winter fruit, but Clementine is a little bit more representative of Christmas, you know. I remember when I was young, my mom, we had the kind of next to the chimney always at least or a clementine or something like that, which is great. And what is interesting, we're going to make it with tarragon, because people sometimes think you can't use herbs with food. So you can rosemary, you can thyme, you can use a little bit of what do you call it? Obviously tarragon, yeah, mint. And mint, etc. But this with clementine is going to be amazing. And we're going to add, which is not in the recipe of the book, which is, you know,
Daniel's Crunch.
Daniel's Country, really good, as well. So we're going to add a little bit of date.
Okay.
So cut them in small dice, throw them in a syrup at the last minute, and just drizzle that on the top of it. And the combination of all that together is going to be amazing.
Lovely.
So I'm so glad, and I love that. It's a kind of a bit Middle Eastern, but also when you look at the way Christmas is, especially in this country, there's a lot of citrus fruit involved in it. And I think sometimes instead of a Christmas pudding, instead of all this classic, you can make something like that for a change, which is really interesting and very nice. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So earlier we spoke about, obviously, a beautiful dessert with date and clementine. Or you can use mandarin, you can use also orange. When we're going to do this cake was originally made with orange, but today, as you can see, we already poached some of the clementine, okay, which we're going to put on the top of the cake. And we made a lovely syrup, which is in here as well. So which is in here, you see. So we look at that, beautiful. So it's been reduced very slowly. I don't like when the syrup reduces and bubble away, full blast, and suddenly you realize it's too reduced and add some more water and restart again. So we let it always gently on low temperature.
So what's in the syrup?
Only water, a bit of organic sugar, which are always scented with vanilla, cinnamon, and star anise. You should know, remember, that's the one you use for your coffee sometime, yeah? And also, there is a little bit of the zest of the orange in it, and the flavor of the clementine, sorry, because I poached them first in that, take them out, put them on this thing, and reduce that. But what is interesting, the cake we made today, so the cake is based with so there's almond mixed with a little bit of flour and a little bit of baking powder. That's your mix. Separately, you've got 4 egg white and 40 grams of sugar. And I beat the egg white, but on what we call soft pick, not hard pick. And the reason soft pick is better because when you finally finish the mix, i.e. adding back all your other ingredients in it slowly, it doesn't collapse. You need to fold it very slowly and make this very light cake based with that. And also in it there's a little bit of zest of orange and a little bit of what do you call that? Sorry.
Tarragon.
Tarragon. Thank you very much. And zest actually of clementine, not orange. And also 1 juice of clementine, which I've added to my mix. So, and we bake the cake at 160 degrees for about 25-30 minutes, which should be ready by now. And voila, that's the base of this cake, which is really light. It's only made, you always do that at the time. I'll do that for you, chef. And we're going to turn it upside down in here now. Okay, and we're going to turn it, it's quite warm, up, like that, because it's much easier. It's really light, it's a small cake, beautiful. Okay, you can see the tarragon. So what is interesting, I put the paper. So I realized when I put a greaseproof paper, normally you shouldn't need, because that is a non-stick. But the reason I do that, because it's less heat and the herbs keep the color, the chlorophyll and flavor. If it was touching straight away that sometime, the herb would become a little bit more brown. So that's what I noticed, and because it creates a kind of a tiny bit of not humidity, but a kind of steam, yes, and it just, you can see the color. And it's very interesting because tarragon goes very well with clementine, also go with mandarin, goes with grapefruit and go with orange. And the reason I turn the cake, okay, you can see there, you can see that, it's a bit triggered, it's very light, not thick at all. It's because it's much easier to put the orange on it. So we're going to do it right now, but also I'm going to add a little bit of beautiful date as well. And all that mix well together. And today, the two recipes we have made actually almost remind you a bit of Middle East, but that's normal because that's where Christmas started. That's where it's all the story about the three kings and the offering and oranges and dates and etc. So it's a great reminder of what period of time we are, and we are soon touching Christmas, which is to everybody's eyes, and we all children at heart for all our lives. Therefore, we always love Christmas. I know people say, "Oh my God, Christmas turkey and this," but when the family is around the table and you're having this beautiful food and a cake like this with orange, and I think it's great, you know. So we don't need a lot of that. I'm going to put it within the syrup as well there. Okay. So what we've done as well, quickly to show you, then when we bake that, we cut them on slices a little bit thick, like that, and we poach them in a lovely syrup, and you take obviously the seeds off, and that's what exactly we've done, which you can see now here, which are only been cooked about for 5 minutes in syrup. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Okay, if they're very, very big, you can cut them. Okay, oops. If it was oranges, you cut them by half and you put all the half together. But clementine or mandarin, you can keep them out. And it's okay, people don't kind of think Christmassy with orange, but why not? Because it's actually perfect. We always do, like in France, bûche de Noël, you call that Christmas log in here, or you do Christmas pudding. I know it's a tradition and we should respect and do the tradition, but for a little bit of difference sometime, you know, it's nice to do something a bit more, I don't know.
Different.
Different, yeah, probably the word, right? Okay, look at that. Yes, make them there. And this one I'm going to leave it in the middle because on the top of it will go all these beautiful things. So that's what we do there. Okay. So we've got our syrup in here. So you see I put always a grease proof paper as well in here. Now I'm going to put that in here and kind of mix them a little bit with it there. Yeah? Just warm them up. They hopefully don't need to be cooked, you know, it's not necessary. Look at that. You see the way they take straight away the shine of the thing. They just warm up slightly, and the rest of the syrup will drizzle on the top of the cake, like this. Okay? Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? Simplicity, okay? Of course, we're going to add a little bit of our fresh tarragon, which I'm going to cut in here. Okay, in here. I'm going to cut some tarragon. Not too much, because within the cake there is some already, and otherwise it's too much pungent, too much powerful, yeah? And with the rest of the syrup, there, we're going to absolutely kind of make the orange live again. Of course you can, because it can go with Christmas, put some star anise within the syrup. You can put some cinnamon, you can put a little bit of vanilla powder, and also clove, which is something we don't think about it, but clove is actually something who goes very well and very Christmassy, because you also, if you do a nice Christmas pudding, there is clove sometimes goes in it, you see. Look at this. Beautiful. It gives him a beautiful shine, a beautiful sweetness, which is very orangey and almost spicy. And never mind, it's going to drizzle a little bit on the side, but that we don't mind too much. Yeah. And gives this really gorgeous cake. Look at this. Right. And the final touch we're going to put there, not too much like we said, going to drop a little bit of fresh tarragon, which straight away, with the heat on a syrup and the apple, will completely release its kind of herby fragrance. Look at that. I mean, you see, that's what we can do. So, beautiful clementine cake with date and tarragon. That is what it is on my book, French Countryside Cooking. You can buy it also for Christmas. Why not offer that? Huh? So the date, clementine, perfect season, come from Four Seasons Fruiterers. You can go on their website and look. They bring, like I said earlier, I love working with them. They are really caring about all the produce they get in. And they check them. It's not like somebody's going to arrive, the supplier arrives from Milan or from France or from the farmer around. They check everything. Then it's spot on. They don't deliver anything unless it's spot on. And that's why I like, and that's why I work with them. And you can see the result in here. You can see the produce. That's absolutely stunning. Beautiful. So, here we go. Please try it. Enjoy it. Make a difference. Different Christmas cake. This is it.